How's it going today, guys? About 80 years ago, 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. First he came in, bombed Gdansk from the sea, and pushed his men in on the border all the way to Warsaw till the city itself was occupied. Once occupied, he immediately went into rounding up the Jewish population and throwing them into a ghetto. There was 500,000 people in that ghetto. And today I'm gonna go look at some of those sites. A little bit more somber today, but a place you have to see if you come to Warsaw and you love history. You have to come see it for yourself. And here are some pictures on this wall of these exact places in this city where these people once stood, outlined behind them with the city we know today. Very, very strong photos. The spot I'm standing in right now, at one time 500,000 Jews lived in this small little area of this city. 300,000 shipped away later to be gassed in an extermination camp, and the other 200,000 died in the Warsaw Uprising, or they starved to death. Quite bleak. Have a look at some of these pictures. So as far as seeing the actual wall itself, fragments of the wall, there isn't a whole lot left in the city. New buildings arisen from the dust of the old city of Warsaw. It was bombed to the ground by the Germans, of course, completely leveled, completely. And I've been shocked to find out that a lot of these historical buildings have been completely rebuilt to their original likeness. Quite an outstanding feat. The castle, things you've seen in the previous video, all rebuilt exactly like they were in the past. Fantastic, pretty impressive. But there is a place where you can still see a fragment of the wall. And here it is. A small fragment, be it, but it's still the original wall of the Warsaw Ghetto. So that's as close as I can get to that piece of wall. Next, I'm gonna go to a place that isn't the actual wall, but it's a building that at one time acted as a wall, a barrier of the ghetto, where you couldn't get in and you couldn't get out. So this was the outer boundary of the Warsaw Ghetto, and this house acted as a wall. Windows bricked over. Just imagine 500,000 people stuffed into a tiny little section of the city. 10 people to a room. 10 people to a room. And that room is a small bedroom. The wall of the Warsaw Ghetto. I just think you can't get in and you can't get out. Just one passageway guarded. You're stuck in there. And like I said, there wasn't a lot of hope once you got out. If you went to the camp, you got the gas. 300,000 just from this ghetto alone. the biggest ghetto in any city in Europe. 300,000 straight to the gas chamber. And the other 200,000 either starved to death or they fought during the uprising. You look just beyond that wall. I'm on this side, called the Aryan side. Beyond that wall, nothing but horror, despair, hell. Yeah, deep, guys. When so many die, and you're standing right on top of that spot. Got the history in your mind, the uprising, the ghettos, the murders of all those Jews, and not just the Jews, the Polish people, Polish army fighting, standing right on the spot. You really feel it. Here, another small fragment, but a fragment nonetheless. The Warsaw Ghetto wall. Really deep, standing here next to this wall as busy cars go flying by. Today's business life carries on 80 years later. This fragment of wall still remains for us to remember. The Warsaw Ghetto. And somehow life carries on. But at least we have these remnants to remember so we don't forget about those horrors that happened in the past. That's the number one thing we can't do, and I think we're doing it a lot these days in the world. We're forgetting. Things are happening again and again. Can't forget, guys. Here's a view of what the old ghetto looked like. Now, if you guys take a look, you see these tall raised poles, and you might think, well, what the heck is that? It's just metal beams standing in the air on each side of this street. Well, you may remember an iconic photo if you know anything about the ghetto. An iconic photo of a bridge that went over a passway, and that was the only way for them to get from one side of the wall to the other. This is where that bridge once stood, and they still have these poles on each side. It's a bridge to remember. Standing under this, it's very strange from the films and the history I know of it. I remember looking at that so much, that bridge, thinking how inhumane. It's like cattle crossing almost. And here I am right under it right now. Now, what a horrible thing, putting people into an area of the city, blocking off all the windows, and putting up walls along streets, literally barricading them inside, starving them to death. It's unreal what humans can do to each other. And here, this spot on the road, still a memory of where the wall here once stood. Today's video a little bit deeper. Some things need to be seen. Not everybody is into the history and war films and, you know, that kind of past. But I still think it's important and we know what happened. Really leaves you thinking afterward. I don't really know what to say next. What do we have here? Oh, I gotta go inside here. Hopefully you let me film. Check this out. Oh, it's still closed. What a bummer. Look at. Got medals from the Warsaw Uprising there, Polish. Look at all these medals here. Old camera. Man, I wish the store was open right now. What a bummer. So from here in Warsaw, that's it for today's video. And there'll be more soon. The next one will be a little bit more detailed. From Warsaw. We'll see you in the next video, guys. On a turd. I can't be there. Not today. No better view. No better view of that building to me than with Ukrainian flags in front of it. Дівчата. Тільки 10, тільки 10.
Дякую, Любая мелочь дорога.
Ой, я не можу.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're all angels. My English is not so well.
Не так добре. Моя українська мова краще твоя.
О, українська, дуже гарна. Круто.
До побачення, дівчата.